Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Right, we have got our pig pen here. My question for this week is, how many pigs do you want me to build up to? I was originally thinking I was going to go for 100, but now I'm leaving it up to you. Do you want me to go for 100 pigs, 200 pigs, 300 pigs, or 400 pigs before I actually start selling some? So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know why you're voting for the one that you're voting for, and obviously don't forget to mouse over the top right hand corner and actually cast your vote. Now, I asked a question yesterday, and a few people have raised a slight concern, and that is anything over 100 pigs is going to be unrealistic. That really, look at this pig, look at the pig. That mark looks exactly like the sorting hat on the Harry Potter films. And I've got several of these pigs. We've got a brand new variety of pig here called the sorting pig. So yeah, we've got 3 or 4 sorting pigs here. That's brilliant. I love that. So yes, I do agree with you. It does look unrealistic having 400 pigs in a pen like this. However, there is no facility in this game to have any kind of large-scale animal production. It's just not the facility to have it. You would have a lot more pens, or you would have large-scale buildings in which to do it. And I don't think we should limit our gameplay to just what would be realistic, because realistically on this, you wouldn't have much more than 25 pigs. This here, yeah, you're looking at 25 pigs. You wouldn't have more than that on a realistic scenario. So even 100 pigs is unrealistic, and I personally have known a few pig farmers over the years, and some of them have less than 25 acres of land and have pig arcs like this over lots of small pens and have well in excess of 1,000 pigs, approaching 2,000 pigs. So it is possible in a small area to have more pigs, but in this circumstance I'm going to plead artistic license. I don't think we should limit our gameplay to just what looks realistic in these pens, because otherwise we'd not be able to get any sort of large-scale animal production anywhere. So I do agree with you, it does look a bit ridiculous if we're saying we've got 400 pigs in this area, but there is nothing in this game at the moment that would allow us to make it look realistic. So on that basis, I would say that it's okay to have 400 pigs if that's what people want. And we've still got the challenge of it, because we've got a small arable side. For a larger number of animals, we would probably have to start bringing in outside feed, which would be very, very realistic. You would. If you had a small farm and you were keeping hundreds of pigs, you would have to buy in feed. So we may end up having to buy some animal feed. And that, I think, is something that is quite realistic. I quite like the idea of that. I did originally say that I didn't want to have to buy in any pig feed, but if that's what we've got to do, then that's what we've got to do. And if everybody says that they want me to have 400 pigs, then we will get whatever feed that we need to in order to feed those pigs. We will keep them fed all the way up as much as possible. And now obviously I'm going to attempt to grow all of the crops ourselves, because that is what I said that I would do. And I will keep trying to do that. However, I'm not going to say that we won't buy in any feed if we've got lots more animals, because I think that it would be more realistic. I actually backed that around with hardly any shunting at all. I'm really impressed with myself, I gotta say. I'm rubbish at packing these types of trailers in. Right, let's get these pigs unloaded. So we've got 21 pigs on board, and unload, just use the mouse button, scroll down. There we go. Confirm. Yes, we now have another 21 animals in there. So if we press escape and we go up through the list... Oh, too far. We've now got 63 pigs in here. It's still saying 3.5 hours. It's actually going to be a fair bit less than that now. The food has altered as it should be. But, well, I'm fairly sure it's going to be a fair bit less than 3.5 hours. We'll see in a bit. I'm going to take this animal trailer now. I'm not going to buy any more pigs just for a minute. And oh, I've got it on dollars. I was doing some other stuff, so it's on the wrong settings. We want euros and kilometers because we are in Eastern Europe. Still 3.5. So I will take this trailer back to our main yard. And then I've got another task that I would like to do today, and I think it's going to be... I'm going to drive on the grass here. I think it's going to be reasonably entertaining. We're going to be using this mighty Kirovets, and which, incidentally, I have been informed, and it was actually CSX... I can't remember his name now. I can never remember his name, even though I've... right. So I'm trying to find him. I've got lots of notes today, because a lot of people have been telling me all sorts of interesting things. CSX 68 FS15 says that the Anatov 225 plane, which is a bit like a jumbo 747, a Boeing 747, this massive, great big plane used a lot in Russia. These Kirovets tractors are actually used to tow them around the airports. These very same tractors are actually used to tow those massive, great big airplanes around the airport. So I thought that was an absolutely fantastic little tidbit of information there. So there's that one. And I will get this back to the yard, and then we've got something else that we're going to do. I now need to find somewhere to park this one, and I'm going to be buying another trailer soon as well. Thinking perhaps if we stick it in that shed, because once that straw's been used up, I'm not planning to use very much straw. So if I park in here, I can pull that trailer in, and it's not going to be in the way, I hope. I go there like that, and I'll unhitch the stock trailer there, and I need the dolly and the tractor for another trailer in a minute. This Belarus tractor, I was saying yesterday I wasn't sure if it was right. It didn't look exactly right with the front axle so far forward, and a few people have said that they thought that it was wrong, and the Belarus tractors they've seen, it's a little bit further back. However, I'm guessing that that might actually be a different model, because the majority of people who have used these tractors or live in like sort of the Ukraine and so on, where these tractors are everywhere, this is like the mainstay of agriculture, this particular tractor, have told me that these tractors are actually, this is modeled correctly. Dave R., he said that the center line of the front axle is actually directly below the grille. So it is further forward than a lot of tractors, and other people have said that it does actually tilt upwards slightly. Some people said that it was a little bit out, but then others actually said, well, in which case you probably had slightly larger wheels or overinflated tires on the model that you drove, because they do normally lift up slightly at the bonnet, and the front axle is in the right place. So I am pleased to report that this does sound to be a truly accurate model of the Belarus 1025. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased, because I really did like this little tractor. I thought it was really good. The hitch and everything, that is all accurate as well. That is completely different to what I'm used to here in the UK. So yeah, it's a basic, simply designed tractor. Even the four-wheel drive is very basic and simple, but it's robust, it's strong, and it's very, very reliable. So we are keeping this tractor. Right, next step, I don't actually need this one for a second, so we're just going to switch this one off. I actually need this one over here, the Kramer, and we're going to do a little bit of forestry for the next couple of days. I haven't done much forestry for quite a long time. I cut down a couple of the poplar trees, and that was fun and all, but I felt it left a little bit to be desired. But this time we're going for regular forestry. We're going to be cutting down pine trees, and we're going over to the forest over the road. So let me just get this one on. We've got a chainsaw that we can use, and that is what we'll be using to cut the trees down with. I'm going to be getting a trailer later on for assisting with it. But right now there's something else that I want to do, and we need to go and get a tree first. I'm going to cut down a tree. We're going to go up to where we're going to start doing our forestry work. And I'm hoping to get a trailer load of trees. The trailer that I'm looking at is going to be towed by the Kirovets. This Kirovets is often used in forestry work. I've seen all sorts of pictures and small bits of video of the Kirovets tractor being used to tow around timber and so on within the forestry situation, along with I think it's I want to say Ursus. I got a feeling I think it's an Ursus lorry. I used one in the Old Times map back in FS15. I think it's an Ursus. those lorries are used a huge amount with forestry work as well in Eastern Europe and Russia. So that is what we're hoping to do today. So we want to select a likely tree, and I also need to decide where we're going to. I think we'll go to the clearing. If we go to this clearing, we've got a bit more room to move around. So we've got a slightly larger area here. And, right, let's just switch you off. And I think to start with, we don't want one of the big trees. We'll be getting to those a bit later on. Now, unfortunately, we do only have a chainsaw. This one. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to need to just sort of work slowly and carefully. Right, how low can I cut this? It would appear that that is the lowest that I can go. Yeah, so we've only got the chainsaw. It does mean that it takes a little bit longer to do the trees because you've got to clean them off yourself. I don't know how quick. Okay, it's reasonably quick to clean the trees up. So let's go to about this point here, I think. And if we crouch down and then we can cut this one through. There we go. I'm just going to carry... Well, I'll probably end up taking both of them, but let's just have a look. So let's skip in. Now, the difficult bit that I've always found with this particular log fork is trying to pick up the trees. This is not easy at all. So, which end do we want? I think we'll take the smaller end. And this is the bit that I really don't like. This is the bit that I What did I do there? I've got a feeling I've got a button that I accidentally just pressed to get out. I didn't mean to get out of the cab. How did that happen? I genuinely don't know. Unfortunately, the game mechanics and the physics with the logs mean that the only way that you can reliably pick up a tree is like that. And that is not a realistic approach to it. Normally you would just press it down and it would just dig into the dirt ever so slightly and then you'd be able to pick the tree up. So we're going to get this one back over to the yard. And then we'll go with the next bit. It might take a little while because of how far it's sticking out. But I will get it back over to the yard, and I will show you the next bit that we're going to be doing. Well, that actually wasn't too bad. There was only one tree that I actually had to stop to sort of steer around carefully. Now, this shed over here, I haven't really shown you this shed yet. This is where we go to have our crib, our morning break, and our dinner. Incidentally, that is today's topic of discussion. What do you call in your part of the world your morning break? Where I'm from, the morning break, when you have your mid-morning cup of coffee and a bit of a snack when you're working, we call it crib. C-R-I-B. It's called crib. And this shed here is where we generally take our crib and so on. And so in order to keep it warm, we have got this fireplace here. Now this fireplace here, I don't know if I press F1... right, so there's no sort of options with it at all. All you can do is... I don't know if you can get in. No, right. So there's no options with it. It's just a fireplace. However, this is quite an ingenious fireplace. It heats up hot water in the top there. It's very well insulated. It doesn't look it. We've got the front open at the moment. Very well insulated. And there are actually pipes that come off of this, and they go under the ground and they go inside, and it keeps our crib room nice and warm. So we have our meals and stuff in there, especially if it's raining and that. We can go in there and we can keep nice and warm, comfortable, and there is even a bed in there if we have to be down here really, really late looking after our animals. We can sleep there if we need to, although it's highly unusual. We normally go back to town to our house to sleep. So anyway, that's my life story, and we just crouch down. Now the thing with this one is it takes small logs. You can put small logs in the front, and it's one of the thing with the wood burners and the biomass stuff these days is that you can often get payments for it, and that's what this one does. If you feed in a few logs, let me just grab a log there, feed the log into the front to keep it running, there we go, and once it's finished burning, you should actually get some money for it. At least that's what it said in the mod description. You feed small logs into the front, there we go, 83 euros for sold wood, so maybe that first one was actually a little bit too small. Did that one sell? I don't know if that one actually sold. Let's try cutting these. Okay, that's an absolutely enormous log. Let's try cutting these a tiny little bit bigger. maybe with... Oh no, 269 euros there for sold wood. I think it said that it's got to use it up first. It's actually got to use up the wood. And I'll show you now in the placeable section where it is. This is one of the beta mods. If you go into the mod hub, it's in the beta section. Beta or beta, I can... whichever you like. But there, throw small pieces of wood into the fireplace and get some money. Right, no, we don't want to do that. And then the description in the actual mod hub said that when it's consumed the wood, then it would give you a bit of money. So I don't think you get it straight away. So this is an absolutely huge log. I don't think it was technically supposed to be able to go into a fireplace like this. It seems to like the idea of it. There we go. That went all the way in. Absolutely fine. And how much is it going to give us? Right. It's still trying to decide how much it wants to give us for that. So I'll get the... Oh, 297 sold wood. So if we pick this up by the end, like that... I don't really like putting in huge, great big logs like this. I think it would be better to have small logs. And I'm guessing it's kind of got an invisible conveyor belt on it, which is how it works. See, that doesn't seem to want to work very well like that. If I drop it down and then pick it up and move forward with it, it's not the easiest thing to feed into. I think we need to cut that one in half. $34 there, euros, not dollars, euros for sold wood. If I cut this one in half, it might feed in a little better. So I think this mod is really nice. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of having a small fireplace like this. But at the same time, it's going to take a while to earn any money from it. It really is. Then it's not meant for money. It's not meant to earn your fortune with that one. This is entirely for decoration. So we'll take this one, and if I drop it down like that, 271 euros sold wood. I think I'm going to have to sort of bend it like that, maybe. Forward a bit. Forward a bit more. Is it actually it's kind of feeding in, I think. No, it's not. That one doesn't want to go in at all. Oh, look! As you feed it in, it actually takes a little bite off the end each time. That's what it's doing. Ah, that's really clever. Okay, I'm liking that aspect of it. There. See, it's slowly taking little nibbles off the end of this piece of wood. Let's try turning it round so that you got the bigger end going in first. And we bring it down like this. Right, now I'm going to have to pick this up most carefully. It's kind of doing it. If I go sideways, there we go. Look, now it's fed right in. It took the whole thing. And I've got this one log left here. We want to try and feed this one in. I'm going to cut this one in half, and we'll drop this one in, and then we can go back up to the forest, and we're going to cut up some more trees. So we've got wood down here to keep our crib room warm, and yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you guys call your morning break, because I have been a number of different countries, and I've never heard it referred to as crib anywhere else. In Australia, they always refer... Oh, yeah, g'day, mate. Yeah, so down here in Australia, we call it morning tea. At least where I was staying in Australia, it was always referred to as morning tea. I never heard it called anything else. So I'm fairly sure that in a lot of Australia, it's called morning tea, but the rest of the country... the rest of the world, I really don't have a clue, mate. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Some people think that I've got a good Australian accent, and some people think that I don't. Generally, I think my Australian accent is more focused down in the southeast of Australia, and so obviously you get regional variations on accents, and so it might not sound very similar to people that live in other parts of Australia. I'm not going to go and get that big trailer today with the Kirovets. We're going to go and cut a few more trees down now. I'm going to be picking up the biggest possible logs that I can using this one, but obviously it's not that strong a machine, is it? And eventually tomorrow I will be buying a Frithgar timber runner, and we will use this one to try and load it up, and when we've got a full trailer load of wood, we're going to cart it off to the sawmill and we're going to sell it. And I'm hoping that money that we get from that is going to offset the cost of the trailer, because the trailer is in here under forestry, whereas forestry equipment, This one here is the one I'm going to get. It's just the very basic timber runner. Now, I have seen a few people using a auto-load timber runner. I only just recently found out that they are actually now available in FS17, which is fantastic. And I would like to use a auto-load timber runner because I think the logging auto-load trailers are just amazing. But this time we're going to load it by hand, and then after this time, then we will have a go. No! I just felled a tree right on top of our yeah. I just knocked a tree down right on top of our Kirovets. Not Kirovets, our Kramer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful which direction you decide to fell your trees, because you could cause a bit of damage. I don't think I'm going to be very popular after that. Goodness me. How do you explain that? Right, I decided to go and do a bit of logging, and the very first tree I cut down, I felled it immediately directly onto my vehicle. And did that one actually hit the vehicle? I think that one did as well. So, 2 trees. We're 2 for 2 at the moment, landing on top of our machine there. Let's see, maybe if I cut it in a different direction, it'll fall in a different direction. That would probably be better. Oh, you really don't want to be doing things like that. So this is 3. I reckon we're going to want probably 20 trees. Right, that one's decided not to fall over, so we'll have to push that one over. Now, where else do we want to go? If I get this one here as well, and then I will cut a few others. I reckon 20. Maybe not even that many, because some of them we're going to have to cut in half in order to fit onto the timber runner. That one's going to be a bit more difficult to reach, I think. This is only... Well, actually, no. I don't think we'll worry about whether the tree is too small or not. We're just going to cut a patch of trees down. And then... Right, that one's not fallen over. We've got one over here, and we've got that huge, great big tree over there. That one's going to get us a bit. This one, I think, is actually set down into the ground a bit more. For some reason. Maybe when the tree started growing, the earth was then mounded up over the top of it. Because, look, you don't normally get that on a tree stump, do you? So I think that this tree is actually a lot bigger than you think. It's just a lot of it has ended up being buried. And we'll take this one off here. I'll cut a few more down in between this episode and the next episode, I think. Well, that one's not going anywhere. I don't want to cut extra bits of tree off like I did last time when I was cutting the poplars, because I want to get great big logs. So I'll just use the Kramer and push them over. The ones that we've got lying down at the moment, I'm going to strip the limbs off in a minute. Right, that one's not going anywhere. And let's just get these 3 here, and then we'll call it quits, I think, on cutting trees. See, look at that. That one I can cut right down under the ground. So that's not actually set very well. That's sort of a bit poor, really, for the design of how the logging bit is laid out, but still, we can live with it, I suppose. And this one here, I had it just now. I see. Oh, there's the blue light. Right, cut this one down. We got one more to go. Incidentally, in the comment section, someone by the name of, hang on, let me. Oh, and yeah, I got something to tell you about the rollers as well. Fango925, his name is. Now, which one did I cut down? I cut down... I don't remember. I think, did I cut that one or that one? I don't know. Right, well, let's strip these bare, and then I can push them over. Fango925 said that he worked for the city that he lived in for a while, and they had to work with a small Kubota tractor that they actually had a platform with it, and they used the platform, and they would sort of stand on the platform and then use it for trimming trees and stuff. And the guy that was driving the Kubota, right, that one has left all of the branches on the underside, which is not great. I wonder if I can trim a few more off. Doing it like that. It's got most of them. You need to get rid of the branches. So yeah, he's working for the city. The bloke that's actually driving the Kubota tractor would keep the doors open so that he could listen to everybody and hear what they were saying, because obviously he's driving the tractor that is controlling the platform that they're working from to trim the trees down. And he moved, and I'm not quite sure how it would have happened, but anyway, he had to move his vehicle and caught one of the trees and pulled it round. and it ripped the door clean off its hinges, apparently. So, yeah, I thought that was quite amusing, actually. He's there trying to be really careful. He's got the door open so he can hear everybody. Super safety conscious, and he just happened to catch a tree when he was shifting the tractor, and it ripped the door clean off of its hinges, which is... That's having a bad day, that is. You're being very conscientious, you're being a good worker, you're making sure that you tick all the boxes safety-wise, and you end up ripping the door off the tractor. That's just having a bad day, that is. That's a very bad day. So thank you, Fango925. That was actually quite amusing. I quite enjoyed that story. And also, I mentioned last week the rollers, and I said about the other rollers that you get, and what do I call them? I said Cumberland rolls. I actually called them Cumberland rolls. It's Cumberland sausages. You get Cumberland sausages, but not Cumberland rolls. They're Cambridge rolls, right? The big iron discs that you use instead of just the flat roller that we have. They're Cambridge rollers, not Cumberland rollers, so I got that wrong. A couple of people pointed that out. We just through there. Right, that one's cleaned off. Scope Jones and Charlie Saker both pointed out that it's Cambridge rolls, not Cumberland rolls, okay? We're not making sausages here. We are actually using a roller. Now, I've got to try and get this thing off of here. I've felled trees right across my Kramer. This is not the way to behave. So let me just back up slowly, and I think I'm just going to have to sort of do it like that. There we go. There's a couple of branches left on that one. I've got that one there. I've got a couple of trees that I need to nudge over as well. I think that one there is one of them. Is this a tree that needs to fall down? Yep. Right. That one can fall down. Is that really still standing up? Come on, tree. Right, there it goes. There it goes. Oh, that's brilliant. So I'll get these trees. We've seen enough of me using a chainsaw now, I think. I think that I can pick that. Let's just try to pick that branch there up. I think I can pick that one up. You've got to sort of balance it, get the weight right. But this one might be a little bit ambitious for us. If I tilt it over like that, and then you squeeze that, lift it back over like that, and then up in the air. Right, so it is picking it up. I think that might end up being a little bit too long for our trailer, but we'll worry about that when we actually get the trailer. I'll let it go now. Let's just unload you. There we go. So that I think is probably a little bit ambitious for our trailer, but I think it will do the job. We've got another tree over here that we need to knock down, and there's one over there that I need to push over. My question for this week is, do you want me to get 100 pigs, 200 pigs, 300 pigs, or 400 pigs before I start selling any? I originally said 100. I am aware that the map, it does kind of look unrealistic to have anything more than 100 pigs. Personally, I think it looks unrealistic to have even 100 pigs on that particular animal pen. But unfortunately, the map doesn't provide us facilities to make it look realistic, so we're going to sort of plead a bit of artistic license and do the same with any of the other animals that we get. I'm aware that it does look a bit unrealistic, and I feel your pain, but at the same time I still want to be able to sort of work with large herds of animals at times. So we're going to sort of pretend that it's okay, and I think that we can get away with it. But anyway, it's your vote, it's your game. If you think that 400 pigs is horribly unrealistic, then of course vote for a much smaller number and head into the comment section, present your arguments, and see if you can persuade other people to do the same. And mouse over in the top right hand corner to bring up that little white circle with the eye in the middle and cast your vote. Right. I can't push that one over. I'm going to have to use the Kramer to push that one over as well. So I will finish just cleaning up these logs. I think I will cut some of these trees in half ready for the trailer. And I will purchase a trailer, and I'll bring that one up here as well. And then I think I might actually... Oh no, it's 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm thinking I will actually go and I will sort this stuff out, and then we will go to bed. And I will see you tomorrow. We can also see how much our cows are going to actually bring us, because the new number of cattle that we've got, the 19 cows, I don't think we've actually seen a full day's milk production from them yet. So it'd be quite interesting to see how our money has changed. We're on 40,530 euros at the moment. So we'll see what that's changed by tomorrow morning, after we've had all of our expenses and then of course the milk that we get back from the cattle. But if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye and see you later.